so many more old faces will debut on December 23rd in new places. Besides the aforementioned CP3 versus Luka duel on ESPN, Russell Westbrook will make his Wizards debut in Philly. John Wall will face the Thunder. The Hornets' Gordon Hayward will start against Cleveland, and all the new Hawks that Vince Carter said would be going there will start in Chicago. We had a little Vince Carter breaking news section of our free agency special, and he was dead on. Matt, which of these debuts are you most interested to see?
We got KD out of the way. That's who I'm most excited to see. But I'm excited to see how John and Russ do in their new situations. To me, that trade didn't make a lot of sense to me because they're so similar in game. Obviously, Russ is more decorated with accolades, a little bit older, but they're very similar. But I'm really excited to see what CP3 does for Devin Booker and Aiden out there, because Chris, you can say what you want, but he makes every team he plays on better. He's going to be probably the best thing that's happened for Devin Booker, allowing him to play off the ball and take a lot of attention off him and a lot of pressure off him. So I'm really looking forward to what CP3 does with those young Phoenix Suns.
Well, for me, it's going to be John Wall. And it's going to be like this. And it's been like this. It's always going to be that player that you always pair with James Harden because of his style of play. You know, so it was like I was interested to see CP3 when he first got there. I was interested to see Russ. And now it's John, because the way Harden's style of play is so interesting. The way it contrasts with these other guys, sometimes we don't think it matches. Yeah. Like, John Wall's about as pure point guard that you have in the league, and he needs the ball.
Right.
And we all know Harden's usage rate on the ball. This was made him an MVP and the player he is today. So it'll be interesting to see that dynamic because I think one of them has to change. I mean, I don't see Wall running the lane, running to the corner, shooting threes, spotting up. And so it'll be interesting to see if Harden takes that role and becomes that player at this stage in his career, which I don't know if
it's also, there's so much behind the scenes going on there with the Rockets. Is Harden going to want to stay? Is James going to want to change his style for some situation he might not stay with? I mean,
it just depends. I think James Harden has a choice whether he wants to just be one of the all-time great scorers, offensive threats in the game, or actually try to win a championship. And it's up to him because he can if he wants to. I think the next step is kind of coming off the ball more and then knowing that anytime you want, you can get your shot, but let the team play and flow and let everyone else get going so it's not always three guys looking at you. And whenever James decides to take that next step, if Paul said if he wants to, then that's where they're going to be in contention. But I like what they've done. If you can get a healthy John Wall and a healthy DeMarcus Cousins, people are forgetting about Boogie. If you can get a healthy Boogie Cousins, you got PJ Tucker there still. They got the young kid, forgive me, I forgot his name, they just picked up from Detroit.
Yep, I'm with you too. Sorry, the center.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think they're putting some...
I've been talking about him all day. Christian Wood.
Sorry about that. But yeah, he flew under the radar and played really well at the end of the season. But if it's up to James. Is he going to go? Is he going to force a trade? Because the last thing you want is an unhappy superstar the whole season. Well,
also, Paul, you mentioned John Wall, and you know John so well from playing with him. I'm from the D.C. area, and I covered him. People kind of forgotten about John Wall. I'm sorry. The talent level of that dude. Now, incredible. I don't know what he is going to be like. The history of guards with Achilles injuries, it's not great when they come back. What do you expect from John?
Well, I think he's going to be a smarter player. I mean, you got to understand, he's came in as one of the most athletic point guards that we've probably ever seen, and he depends on that. And now he's probably going to lose some of that athleticism as he gets up there in age in this injury. So I'm going to see probably a more efficient John Wall, you know, a guy who's probably worked on his shot, knocking down shots a little more, a higher IQ. Not that he wasn't before, but he was a high IQ player. So I think injuries tend to help you learn the game a lot more because you sit back and you watch and see how you can get better.
You think he's got to study the game, like Paul said. He's got to be a student in the game because he hasn't played since December 26th of 18.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
crazy.
So it's coming up on 2 full years of him actually not playing basketball. We had him on the show earlier on All the Smoke. He said he's feeling great. He's explosive. He's, you know, like I said, I think the next step in his game is the mental step. And not that he wasn't a smart player before, but with age and time off, being able to see how you can affect the game, I think he'll come back and be very effective if the Achilles is completely healed.
Well, physically, he probably could have come back for the bubble and the team, just everybody elected, like, let's be smart here, right? But that maybe extra padding of time is maybe a good thing when you're looking about the chance of re-injury. We'll just have to see. I want to ask you guys about the Toronto Raptors because they are going to spend at least the next 3 months away from Canada, play their home games in Tampa, Florida at the Tampa Bay Lightning's arena. This is, of course, due to the travel restrictions between Canada and the U.S. right now. Whether they will return to Toronto after the All-Star break in March, who knows? What do we, I mean, no one knows about anything going on in March. Here are a few notable games that the Raptors will play in Tampa, starting with the Pelicans on December 23rd, the Celtics on January 4th, and a 2-game home set against both the now fellow Floridians, I guess, the Heat, and then the 76ers. So, Paul, how do you see this forced relocation affecting Toronto, the players? I mean, they might move back in the middle of the season.
I mean, out of all the teams in the league, they're most affected. I mean, you're not asking no other team in the league to play outside of their home arena. I mean, not that we're not going to have fans, but you got to understand the comforts of being at home, going into the house that you bought or the apartment or wherever you live, coming home to your family, going to your practice facility. You know, players are by nature, you know, they like routine. They go to their favorite restaurants after games or before games. And now you're going to a totally foreign environment, to a city who probably none of us have been to. Tampa's a great city, but I'm sure people don't just wake up and say, I want to go to Tampa. you know, so.
Nice in the winter, Paul.
You know, it's a great place. I've been there. But, you know, you go to Miami, you go to Florida for the most part. Right. And so they're going to be a team at a disadvantage out of all the teams to start the season.
But I think, to piggyback off that, if any team can handle it, it's them. You know, they have great veteran leadership in Kyle Lowry. Nick Nurse is a great coach. They've been through the wars. They've won championships. They've done it without Kawhi. So I think this team is ready, can handle it. Obviously, it's going to be a disadvantage not being at home. But, you know, they landed in Tampa. So it's going to be, at least it's a nice city. The weather's nice. And we're just in unfortunate circumstances right now. So like I said, I think it's going to be tough. But I think this team can definitely handle it. And I don't see it affecting.
But think about this. You just come from the bubble. And then it's like, damn, you don't even get to go home.
Nope.
So just psychologically, you're like,
it wears on you.
It wears on you. So that can cause an effect on a player.
Yes.
You know, so my hat's off. You know, if they got through the bubble, they can get through this.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.